What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 100% Chelsea and welcome to your match build-up show for the Europa League tie, Slavia Prague versus Chelsea in the quarter-finals of the Europa League, not to be confused with, is it Sparta? Sparta, it's Slavia, yeah. Obviously, Scott's here and yeah, we're doing our little match build-up show and we're breaking it up like we normally do. That's coming back. We've got all that good stuff going. And listen, first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a quick recap of West Ham. And you pretty much got it on the head, didn't you? The only thing you said we concede, didn't you?
Say again?
You thought we'd concede.
No, I said 2-0.
You said 2-0. So you did get it nail on the head.
Spot on. I didn't expect it to be as sort of... I expect to be a little bit more comfortable in terms of that second half, but apart from that, nail on the head.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the biggest thing we have to look at is Sarri's comments, basically talking about Eden Hazard, and obviously that's something you've wanted to raise.
Oh no, that was different comments.
It's different comments.
Yes, it's different comments. It's about the Europa League I don't want to raise, but that's afterwards.
Okay, well, let's talk a bit about Sarri and what he said about Eden Hazard post game, obviously as well. Because put it this way, let's be honest, it was Eden Hazard FC that game.
It was.
Superb goal, first one. Basically looked at it and went, please don't leave, Eden. And if you do, by the way, just a quick notice, if you're watching this, by the way, and you see there's a bloke with a beard in the background, it's not a hobo which you randomly let into the house. It is actually our friend Mark, who is playing FIFA and has a fractured foot, so we're not going to move him. Say hi, Mark.
You alright?
There we go, that'll do. But, yeah, I mean, basically, you know, Sarri was asked, what do you think about the Hazard to Real Madrid rumours? He went 100 million is far too little.
Fair play to him.
And yeah, fair play. And to be honest, I think he's right.
I think someone hit it. Someone hit the nail on the head in terms. I think during the fan camps where they said it's because he's in the last year of his contract. We could easily push that. Like even Real are struggling to push. Like they don't really want to pay 100 million.
Yeah.
But like, you could quite easily push it.
Well, I mean, there's one person I'd like to talk to about Eden Hazard. That's Mr. Mark Goldbridge. Now, Mark.
Oh dear.
If he remembers correctly, he would remember that we were talking about Eden Hazard and the combined 11. The Belgian Nathan Redmond disappears for most games, doesn't really do a lot, all of this stuff. Currently, the most goals and assists combined in the Premier League. Just your thoughts on that, Mark?
One more than Aguero.
Let that sink in. I think currently, I believe, he is on 27.
Yeah, it's 27 altogether.
If Squawker lets me do it.
I don't know what it is in terms of each, but it's 27 altogether.
Let me do it.
Because it came up on Sky last night.
Yeah, player ratings. No, I just want one. No, I just want one player. No, okay, right. We'll come back to it in a minute. But so Squawker did release another stat, obviously, in that game, saying that Eden Hazard, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Callum Hudson-Odoi were the first players in the Premier League that season from one club to all complete over 5 take-ons in one game. You know, as players, obviously, I think they are now our starters for certain, 100%. So that kind of leads us nicely into the Europa League and Sarri's comments on that, because squad depth, you know, that is something for Chelsea, which, again, this game itself could be an interesting issue based on the fact that, let's be honest, Slavia Prague are no joke.
No. Honestly, for this game, like I was thinking about it after the West Ham game. I think for this game, it's just you go there, play. I know we won't do this, but I'm thinking if you go there, play maybe not the best football, but you get a comfortable, say 1 or 2-0 win.
Yep.
Take that back to Chelsea. That's absolutely fine. That's perfect because you're not overexerting yourselves too much. But you got that away goal or 2 away goals, then should be comfortable in the home leg. So then press on.
Well, obviously that's the idea. But I mean, what was Sarri saying based on the?
These comments were made about the Europa League, and this is a wider issue that speaks to many clubs. I will say, and many managers have said about it time and time again. So it's not a new thing, but I think it was one of the comments he made and it kind of resonated with me. But he said, "We go to Prague as an English team, so I don't understand why we have to play on Monday. It's very strange. We asked for it to be switched, but the answer was that in the Champions League, the English teams only have 3 days to prepare." It was easy to solve the problem, but this is the situation. We have to adapt. The Premier League should help English teams involved in Europe more. They could have done more. In Italy, teams in Europe play on Friday. Teams in the Europa League who are away from home, they can ask to have their next Serie A match on the following Monday. It is a Premier League decision, but they showed last season that they are able to sell English football the best way. The Premier League was able to sell their rights the best possible way, so in England, we are lucky. We can buy the best players in the world, we have the best championship in the world, so we have to accept that we play every 3 days. And then he made another comment sort of linking back to the right, saying that I would not mind if my salary was less, but the fixture list was better because for me, salary is not so important.
Well, I think he's hit the nail on the head there. I mean, like he said, I think the point for me that is most important is the fact that he raised saying, look, it is what it is, rather than just going straight in and just moaning, full stop. That's quite important because I feel that's something which could get picked apart, but he's covered his back well there.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me in that is the Serie A bit, like that. It speaks more. That kind of shows how different in terms of the rest of Europe, or at least one aspect of Europe, see the Champions League, how they tailor it, and it's like it's an amazing point. Like we were speaking before camera earlier, that if you look at the games on Saturday, for example, what was it? It was Leicester versus someone, Burnley, Bournemouth, wasn't it? I think
yes.
Burnley, someone. But anyway, these games, yes, they might not be the most glamorous games to play on a Monday night football, but any of those teams would benefit more from that TV revenue. That means we get 2 more days to have, like, in terms of rest. It would have benefited so many people. Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the fixtures, Friday night you had Southampton versus Liverpool, Saturday Newcastle, Palace, Huddersfield, Leicester, Bournemouth, Burnley, and then Everton, Arsenal on Sunday, and then we played on Monday. Why didn't we just play on the Sunday as well?
Yeah.
It's illogical to me. I understand the Premier League has fixtures to fill.
Yeah, but this is where the TV rights thing comes into it. There is money to be had in terms of the TV rights, and that's fair enough. You could lose out on money, but I think you'll then gain that money anyway from doing better in certain European competitions, for example, or progressing elsewhere.
Well, this is where the gentrification of the Premier League becomes a debatable point, because it was done for the right reasons. It was done to curb hooliganism, try and reduce the rates of racism, which it has. I mean, racism obviously is still rife in English football, and that's proven over the past few weeks and months. But I think another way of looking at it, we spoke to Paul Elliott. He was at a Kick It Out event, and I believe was it Paul Elliott? Yeah, I think it was Paul Elliott. We were talking about it was Paul. We spoke about the fact that racism obviously isn't tolerated in society today, and that's a reflective point of it. And the fact that what reflects that statistic is the fact that there are more reports of racism in football grounds, suggesting that people aren't just sitting there and taking it; they are now mentioning it and speaking to people and developing it, which goes to prove a point. From a social standpoint, it's amazing. From a financial standpoint, the Premier League rights have obviously increased tenfold.
I say the deal last year or this year is like over £1 billion.
More than that. It was like 3 point. It was something ridiculous.
It was the biggest spend for a TV rights deal in any sport, I think.
Yeah, and that's the fact remains that I think people are starting to get greedy. But the problem is, if the Premier League if the clubs turn around and say we want to move our fixtures, they'll go, okay, we'll give you less money. And they're just going to go, okay, right, we're not going to do that then. And that's just the nature of it, unfortunately. I think it would have made sense for us to play on Sunday. I think it would have been logical for us to do that from a health benefit. I think we've moved fixtures before, obviously because when they had the Champions League and the FA Cup final in 2012, we did move stuff around for various games in that season. But obviously, if you're in a European competition, you kind of have to be prepared for this, and that's not on Sarri. I think that's on the club. If he doesn't feel prepared, it's because we don't have the squad. But that is just part and parcel of football, unfortunately, in my opinion. But speaking of players and squads, as this is being recorded, it is Wednesday the 10th of April, and it is one day before Chelsea know their fate.
This is another thing
with the transfer ban.
With the transfer ban. This is not before people try, this is not me moaning about Chelsea, like saying we're getting hard done by it's a conspiracy theory, all this bollocks, because it's not. Like we've had this before, but it's more just irritating that in the space of a week we've got so many things all conspiring is the wrong word because it makes me go out, but kind of coming together on the same. Like, so for example, the lack of like preparation in terms of we could have had the transfer ban appeal thing coming the exact same day as our away tie in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. You know, the fact that to begin with, in terms of that, we weren't offered the same frozen period that like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Athletic Madrid, etc. were offered. It's just certain things. This is just annoying. And I think this comes down to quite a few clubs as well.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Manchester City as well as us. Because City get away with it and we don't. There's definitely going to be something there. I think that the fact remains, we're going to do, obviously, based on what happens.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be releasing videos and talking about it. And then we're going to be doing a video on youth products, like who come through if it does end up happening that we are in a pickle, which is the polite way of putting it. But look, I think what are the possibilities with a transfer ban if it doesn't happen? Do we just carry on as normal? Do you think Chelsea will?
When you say if the transfer ban doesn't happen, are you saying?
Yeah, if the transfer ban fails to materialise, which is really unlikely.
I was going to say it's next to impossible. Like, the only two options I see are it gets frozen for one window, or it doesn't get frozen at all. If we somehow don't get the ban, it's just going to be same old, same old. There will be no change. Like, there'll be a little bit of change in terms of, for example, we might see a little bit of youth come in, as we're seeing at the minute. In terms of, like, for example, next season, we might see Reece James, maybe. We might see Jay Da Silva, maybe. But nothing much apart from that, unless we get a certain type of manager in. Apart from that, this summer, if the ban gets frozen, this summer will be the biggest window I think possibly we've had.
What worries me is the way we're going to spend the money. That is what it boils down to. That is the biggest issue, because we could fail to spend it correctly, as we have done on multiple occasions over the past few years. If you look at our expenditure, it's high value expenditure. Well, high finance expenditure, low value.
Yeah, was it Lewis? I think it was Lewis who brought this up on after the West Ham game. I think it was after the West Ham. It was after a game on a fan cam. We are, in terms of our spending, we have Real Madrid spending, but nowhere near the same in terms of the players we get.
But it's stuff. For example, we signed Danny Drinkwater and Bakayoko in the same window for 72 million quid. Was it the same window? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? 72 million quid, and we sold Nemanja Matic for 40, and Chalobah for 5. Now, they're not better players. People can argue all they want about Timi Bakayoko. I'm just saying, he came to the Premier League, he fucked it up, he ballsed it up. I said I told you so from the August, June, July, whenever it was we signed him. I said he'd balls it up. He did it. For me, he's a player which I look at and go, not even going to look at as an option. He's already cast away to one side, going, listen, AC Milan want to give us cash for him. There you go. Thank you very much. We move on. We take what we can and we redevelop in a different part of the market.
Get somehow nearly the whole of what we paid for him back. At least we'll get the majority back of what we paid for him.
I'd cut our losses.
Oh, no, I'm saying we don't even have to. Like, they're willing to offer.
Yeah, I know, but it's in terms of getting rid of a player, I'd do it, because I don't think he's Premier League quality. I understand the Serie A is a different type of league. It's more technical, but it's slower paced. It is, and you've seen what's happened there with maybe the likes of Jorginho, you've seen the likes of Sorriball having its teething problems over the past few months. Obviously, it started well, but you've seen that there are teething problems.
You can look further into that with some other players. I mean, just off the top of my head, like some other players that have done well in other leagues that might be a bit slower.
Juan Sebastian Veron.
Yeah, Savage comes to mind. I know he was not at his best at City, but still he's improved being at Atletico Madrid. Marcos Alonso to a certain extent. I know he's never world class, but must have done something in Italy for us to buy him. There's not many I can think of off the top of my head, but there are other examples of players that come from other leagues like the Serie A, like the Bundesliga, etc., that don't quite perform.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same pace.
Well, this is it, and I would just make Bakayoko, who's a player I cut losses with. Same guys for Lucas Piazon, Marco Van Hinkel to a certain extent.
Morata's the next one, to be fair, with the deal and with apparently to take with a grain of salt, they want to get rid of Diego Costa.
Yeah, he has been poor
after the red card, in which he could be banned for 8 matches against Barcelona. So apparently they want to sell him. If they sell him, and I think Kalinic is going as well, or they want to get rid of him, I see them buying Morata.
They can have him.
Take that 40 whatever million it was.
Yeah, I mean Michy Batshuayi, Tammy Abraham, Olivier Giroud, for me they are viable options. They're not going to be Sarri's first choices, but with a transfer ban, I think that is a top 6, definitely top half option in terms of centre forwards. Obviously, we've touched on this many times over the past few weeks and last few months. But obviously, if that really, we'll move on from it because it really hinges on what happens. We need to know more information. Obviously, as it does expand and news does come out, we will be talking about it over the coming days. But yeah, I think now this is obviously a very short one.
It is very short.
It is very short. I mean, in terms of Europa League, I think we'll just move in on this one now, and preview the game. Now, obviously, Slavia Prague are a very good side.
Yeah.
Let's not take the piss here. They've knocked out Sevilla across 2 legs. They aren't anyone to be trifled with. They probably are the weakest team in the group of teams that are left. Obviously, you've still got the likes of Frankfurt, Benfica, Arsenal,
Napoli, Villarreal, and Valencia.
Yeah, so there are some very, very, very strong sides in there, but these guys, they knocked out who were the cup favourites, the Europa League kings, as it were, the side that would continuously do it year in year out under Unai Emery, 3 on the bounce. What is your honest opinion going into this game?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, and that's only because of the weekend. Because I don't want to say that I'm thinking of this team as an afterthought, because that sounds disrespectful. And as you said, they have done well in this competition. They knocked out Sevilla, but we're playing such a key game at the weekend. It's almost like just get through this game almost. And the only thing in terms of the game tomorrow or later today, as you're watching this, that I want is rotation, and I think it will come.
Yeah, well, I think that's a necessity, to be honest. I think if the team that he's probably going to put out, it'll probably be...
I mean, apart from Kepa, but apart from that, it'll pretty much be...
Alonso, left back, right back, it'll be Dave still, probably.
I think Zappacosta, because if Sarri's smart with how the front 3 of Liverpool are, he wants Dave to be completely fit. So I think Zappacosta could start. And to be fair to him, Zappacosta didn't do too bad a job when he came against Brighton, I think it was. He was okay. I mean, I know we were 3-0 up at that point, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think that Zappacosta's definitely a player which will...
I will say, sorry to interrupt, I rag on him a lot. His crossing is very good. I will say that about him. It's the one skill he has in the team.
100%.
His crossing is incredible. Can't defend for shit. Can't really do anything else, but his crossing is incredible.
Well, I think, to be honest, I think that just summarises the point. He is... Yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, let's be honest, it'll be probably Higuain starting this game.
Will it?
Fucking hope so.
You hope so. I think Giroud will start. I think Giroud will start.
I mean, did Giroud come on as a sub, or was he...
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he'll start Higuain because Giroud came on as a substitute. I'm pretty certain.
I like your optimism.
I think it's kind of a case of... I think the biggest thing that Sevilla players were moaning about was the pitch, and it wasn't exactly the best quality.
No, but I think this is another thing where you have to expect that. With playing in... I say playing in Europe, you wouldn't expect that in the Champions League so as much, but it's the same thing to a sort of... This isn't quite the same extent as the FA Cup or the League Cup, for example, when it's City had to go to Newport. They didn't bitch, they didn't complain. I think Guardiola might have said something, but they didn't really bitch, didn't complain. Got on with it, battered them 6-0, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah.
Just that's the whole point. You've got to not focus on that yes, it might stop you playing your football a little bit, but adapt to it. That's what the best players do. They adapt to whatever situation they're in.
Well, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. That's why I don't like it when Klopp bangs on about the fucking wind.
He has more excuses than anyone. Like, he might have more excuses than Wenger, and that's saying something.
That is saying something, but I mean, it's
Wenger always had the same excuse, wasn't it? I did not see it.
Did not see it. No. Or as Ty said, the rain stopped us from playing football. Have you seen that video?
I haven't seen that video, no.
I'll show it to you later. Even Robbie's looking at him going a bit like, Ty, you sure? Like, you sure, mate? You the rain. I love Ty though. He's a nice guy. But I mean, look, to be honest, I think the pitch is going to be difficult. In terms of if you wanted to play football on the deck, you'll be able to do it. It's standard football, but it's just not going to be as smooth as players expect. So it's going to be, they're a very physical side. And that's another thing that scares me, because it's the fact that our players aren't exactly the most physical on the planet. I'd probably say they're pansies. But to be honest, I think this game is going to be interesting to see. But before we get into lineup predictions and the score predictions, we're going to touch on some other news. Obviously, there's some other stuff that's happened in between the Brighton game and obviously the game coming up. And
you mean the West Ham game and the game coming up?
Sorry, the West Ham game and the game coming up. Yeah, sorry about that. And we've got two stories. We've already touched on Hazard. Sarri saying he would respect his decision if he was to leave Chelsea. But the other one, which is very, very big, is Danny Drinkwater being charged for drink driving. Crashed his Range Rover in Cheshire.
Why were we told it was Manchester?
Cheshire is like Manchester-ish.
Oh, fair enough.
It's not Manchester, but that's like where like all the football and stuff.
Yeah. That makes more sense then, because I was thinking, my biggest thing was, why are you in Manchester? I know you're not in the squad, fair enough, and I know you've probably got no chance of being in the squad, but as a professional footballer, why literally hours before a game are you in Manchester, of all places, partying? That's lack of professionalism is the only thing I can say to that. But if it's where he lives, then I can understand it.
Yeah, I mean,
a little bit more.
He'll be out the door. He'll be out the door at the
10
end.
mil.
What was touted? It was 10, 15 million that we would have taken for him. But I think Danny Drinkwater was never a Chelsea quality player. I think when he's come and played, he's done a job.
Yeah.
But that's literally all we can say about him. I mean, there's definitely players, but he probably is one of those banter players, let's be honest. He always will be. But Danny Drinkwater getting done for drink driving is, I'm not even going to use the pun because it's been so overused. But at the same time, it is literally like it's right there. It's right there. Like if you can't see it, then that's an issue. But yeah, I mean, look quickly, because we've only got so long left on the record. Obviously, leave us your thoughts on Danny Drinkwater. Is he going to be a Chelsea player next season? Is he going to be leaving? What are your thoughts on what's happened with this? He definitely does need some help, because that's obviously, we've seen what happened with Darren Gibson and other players that have had stuff with drink driving. It's not a pretty affair. So I think hopefully he'll get the right help to sort all of that out. But quickly, let's just rattle off what you think the lineup's going to be for this game.
Kepa in goal.
Yep.
Zappacosta right back. Alonso left back. Christensen and Rudiger centre backs. Midfield three of Barkley, Kovacic, Kante. Front three of Pedro, Giroud, William.
I agree with you. Apart from Giroud, I think Higuain will start.
Fair enough.
I just think because of the rotation, that's why he'll come into the side. Mm-hmm. But other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, maybe Jorginho instead of Kante, and then Kovacic.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Well, maybe I think he probably will go a bit more offensive. But let's have that. Obviously, leave your thoughts in terms of it's Europa League, and there's no. It's
unfortunately until tomorrow. There's nothing we can really talk about.
And we'll talk a little bit more about stuff tomorrow. We'll be releasing more videos pre-game. But yeah, I think it's kind of a case of leave us your thoughts down in the comments section based on what you think the lineup be. Obviously, I'm swapping Giroud for Higuain. We think Kante might start, stuff like that. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Right, now it is time to wrap this bad boy up. I'm sorry it's been a very short one. It's Europa League and stuff, and in terms of stuff we want to talk about, you can't really cover as much as we'd like without really going overboard on it. And obviously we want to try and, like, for example, the transfer ban needs to be covered tomorrow when there's more information. When Sarri does his press conference tonight, when he lands in Prague, I will be talking some more about what he said in the morning. But Scott, you've done your lineup, score prediction, and tell people what else they need to do.
2-0.
Yeah.
Are you referring to what I think you're referring to?
Yes, I hope you think I'm on the same. Are we on the same wavelength? Yeah.
Yeah. And then.
What you got? I love the way you're mouthing like they're not going to see it. Like, is it FBAs? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, FBAs.
Well, basically.
Yeah, that thing.
I assume that was what it was.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, I know. As Louis said before, forcing down your throat. There was a reason for that. But yeah, don't forget to vote for us in the FBAs. You can do it on Twitter, Instagram, or on the website. It's probably the easiest way, but do it all 3 ways. It's the best way.
More votes.
Exactly. You might have to go through the Instagram bit because I don't know how to do that. But in terms of Twitter, all you have to put is I'm voting for @100% Chelsea in hashtag. What is
Best
it?
club content.
Best club content creator. Vote for Lawrence. Is I am voting for @Loz150.
No, Laos 1507 in hashtag Best International Creator.
And Jean Lolachon is I am voting for is Jean Lolachon.
Yeah.
Jean Lolachon in hashtag Best Women's Content Creator.
Yeah. And also make sure you do the same things for Chelsea Fancast in the Best Podcast and the Chelsea Echo in the Best Brand New Content Creator and London's Blue Pod. They're in Lawrence's category, but you know, share the love. I've voted for Lawrence twice and voted for them once, but you know, just evening it out, mate. But look, so it's kind of a case of look, we'd really appreciate if you did do that. In terms of the Instagram, what you need to do is you need to head over to my Instagram's got it on my story.
Okay.
Literally, just go on my story, click on the pictures that are there, the posts, go through and tag the relative people that I said on my story, and that will count as 1 vote. The website is a simple drop down menu. You can head across to that. I'll leave a link to the website down below. But yeah, look, we'd really love to win it this year. That's the thing. We'd be buzzing if we did do that. But for me, obviously, there's links down below. My score prediction is the same as Scott's. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. Yeah, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below on this video. If you like the shorter format with maybe more videos, we can do that. To be honest, we probably do need another body now, I think, because me and you basically say the same thing every week.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to get a different person on every week.
Hint, hint.
With us.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
Whoever. Leave your thoughts on who you'd like to see. But guys, listen, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to 100% Chelsea. All social medias are down in the description on Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as mine and Scott's personal socials. And we will see you after Slavia Prague. Take care, guys, and we'll see you later.